This is Jonathan Agger, Fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by trainer Shane McGuigan here in London. We just had workout day for the March 26th show. Yeah. You got a busy night, Shane?
Yeah, I got 3 on. I've had 4 before, so I know I'm sort of seasoned at this sort of thing. You know what I mean? As long as you have a little bit of break in between, like 1 or 2 fights, it'll be good to go. So yeah, I've got 3 on. Exciting times.
I was watching out there. You've obviously got Caroline, Hassan, and Adam. You sort of vary up sort of the workouts. Was that just because you don't want to get smashed in the hands, to just vary it up a bit?
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, Adam, I didn't really want to do too much pads today. He's got a spar tomorrow, so we're just saving him. And with Caroline, I work a little bit different than I do with Hassan, but that's a sign of someone that is kind of coaching towards their strengths rather than just got a system. Am I holding this up?
Yeah. Where I was going with that is, as a trainer, how much do you have to work on S&C yourself? Because you're taking big punches every day. Do you not?
In terms of myself, do I?
So for your hands, taking big punches from Dan, how does it work?
I lift some weights. I mean, I lift weights probably 3 times a week, maybe 3-4 times a week. Mainly because I like lifting weights, but only half an hour sessions. Just get in, do half an hour, do like 2 upper body, 2 lower body. But kind of, I think that's, if I don't train, if I don't lift weights, then I feel like the aches a bit more. So weirdly, you got to keep your strength high. It also helps to have a bit of like size. Do you know what I mean? When I was younger, when I was like 21, I was probably 8 kilos lighter than I am now, 10 kilos lighter. So it helps to have a little bit more cushion for the push.
Obviously, Caroline made a successful debut. Yeah. What do you want to see from her this time? She showed a lot in the debut.
Just a little bit more settled. Working on not falling in, not rushing her work, being a bit more patient. It's hard because it's her first fight as a pro. She wants to impress, but now she's got that one out of the way. It was Chen boxed for 8 months or whatever it was since the Olympics. So the fact that she can now take her time, calm down, not put that much pressure and expectation. She got that first one out of the way. I think we're going to see a much more relaxed, calm performance. So the thing is just she's going to beat these girls for sure, whoever we're matching her against, until she gets really tested at the top. But it's just about looking good in the process and making sure that you handle the occasion, not just the opponent. It's handling the occasion and looking classy and meticulous doing so.
I thought Adam Azim was fighting for the Southern Area title, but he corrected me. He is fighting the Southern Area champion. Yeah,
he's fighting Conor Marsden, who's the Southern Area champion, over 8 rounds. I wanted to fight an 8-rounder before we push him on to titles. And Conor Marsden's a tough kid. I've had him in the gym sparring before with Josh Taylor when I used to train Josh, and I thought he was a good quality fighter. But we're not in a rush with Adam, but we want to push him on. We want to make sure there's no point him blowing out people in 30 seconds or around, and they're just so negative. Like, we want someone to come to have a go, and not many people want to take that fight. We had a list of names, and we got ticking Xing them off until we got Conor Marsden, and we ticked that one. So fair dues to him, good kid, nice kid. He trained over at Earlsfield as an amateur with Sid Khan, who I used to do a load of sparring over in that gym. So good relationship with those people, but tough lad, and he's going to come to win, which is effectively what we want. We want someone to come and have a go.
So that kind of show the confidence you have in him in only, I think, his 4th pro fight. He's fighting in an 8-rounder.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's Conor Marsden had 6 pro fights, and he's already Southern Area champion. He's boxed in 10s before. So in professional boxing these days, you've got to push people on. Not got to, but it's healthy to push people on at a reasonable pace. And look, if I believe if he's as talented as I believe, he's more than capable of beating up Conor Marsden over 8 rounds and over 20 rounds, because he's got a fantastic engine, and he has that because he's so skilled. Boxing's a skilled sport. It's not a fitness sport. Fitness comes into equation when skill is equal. And when that's the case, then so be it. Conor's he's a fit kid. he's going to come and have a go. He's a tall kid, big for the weight. So it's not a straightforward, easy fight, and it's one that a lot of people would naturally swerve. But I believe it's going to be a great showcase on Adam's ability.
And Hassan got some good rounds in last time out against MJ Hall.
Fantastic. Fantastic journeyman in terms of a guy that can get through the rounds and not get stopped. I mean, he's had like 80 odd fights. He's only been stopped a handful of them. And he said to us afterwards, if he'd weighed in under welterweight and with the 8-ounce gloves on, I mean, because he was saying, Hassan hurt him a few times, but he's a wily old pro. He knows his way around the ring, knows how to slow the pace down, kid a little bit, trying to showcase that he's not hurt. And look, these are all great boxes ticked for Hassan. He blew the first guy out of there so quickly. Second guy took him 4 rounds. Didn't drop the pace once. Didn't look messy. Maintained his range. Caught him a load of fantastic shots. Didn't get the finish, but got amazing rounds, and that's exactly what we wanted.
And just sticking with your stable, obviously 2 guys out a few weeks ago, Lawrence and Anthony Fowler.
Yeah.
How did you assess both of their performances?
Look, I mean, we'll start with Anthony. I mean, Anthony's coming off a knockout loss, so the fact that he's up at a new weight after a knockout loss, confidence was down. I thought he started very slow, but once he warmed into the fight, he was fantastic. Whereas with the Billam-Smith fight, he started flew out the blocks. Was fantastic at the blocks, and then his energy dropped because of not just because of the weight, because he got caught a couple of good shots and sort of got slowed down. But the good thing is that he's at a new weight, he's healthy, he's happy, he's enjoying his training again. He knows that wasn't the best Anthony Fowler. We know that's not the best Anthony Fowler. Maybe built up a lot of pressure on himself, knowing that I've got to go out there, really got to showcase that I'm still here, I'm still going to do something. And sometimes that can play against you. But look, we got 10 rounds in. As the fight went on, made adjustments, and it's given us a lot of stuff to work on, and I'm happy. So can't take all the negatives away from it. I like to nitpick because I'm a perfectionist, but you've also got to look at the bigger picture. Say, come off on a knockout loss. He's now on the undercard, load of fights down. He was the head of the bill, picked himself back up, got a new weight, went as heavy as he's ever been, took all that weight back off, down to a weight that's more comfortable for himself, and got a win against the guy that was 27-3 or something. So I'm happy. Lawrence, if you'd have took that first 7 rounds and forgot about the last 5, that was an exciting fight. It got scrappy and it got messy in the last 5. Clash of styles, both eager, and Lawrence was a bit eager to sort of go out there and knock him out and prove his point and prove his worth. He needs to handle the occasions better, because every time he headlined when he was on against Glowacki, but there was nobody in the arena. So the next time he was on the undercard against Prasovic on the AJ fight, which was fine. The expectation wasn't really on him. But then he's headlining again against a guy, Cezak, who's lost a very close fight to Makabu, another champion. He thought, I want to knock this guy out. I want to prove my worth. I want to show that I'm a genuine headline star. And I think it's his eagerness in that fight let him down. But look, he won very convincingly, and he hurt him numerous times, just didn't get the finish, smothered his work, all things that we can go back and look at. But you can't discredit the fact that he's gone on a 7-fight knockout spree until that, and everyone can't relate back to the Matty Askins days when he was only a novice. That fight was a good fight for 7 or 8 rounds, and then it got messy down the stretch. So he's still a work in progress, but he's arguably the best cruiserweight in the world.
And I guess there's big fights out for both. Obviously, with Fowler, people talking about the Felix Cash fight. Lawrence, obviously, unification.
Look, Felix Cash is a great fight, but he's also just vacated the British title. He's moving on. He's very highly ranked in the governing bodies. Anthony, we need to get him a British title fight. We need to get him a European title fight and win those and build his confidence up, and then And then there's loads of great domestic fights like Felix Cash, like Liam Williams, like Chris Eubank Jr. It's a great weight division to be in, and it's one that within time, I believe he can mix it at. He just needs to. We're still in the rebuilding process, and I'm sure we'll get there.
Chris Billam-Smith, the rematch is announced with Tommy McCarthy.
Yeah.
Is that a fight you wanted to see again?
Well, it was a fight that we wanted to bring back to Bournemouth, and then Eddie said he didn't want, DAZN didn't want to go back down to Bournemouth. Didn't want him to headline, and so we said, all right, well, if we're not going to headline and we're going to be a chief support like we are, or the main undercard fight, that we'll fight Turchi, because we needed to get rid of our mandatory. Everyone was quite well documented that Turchi decided to box Riakporhe, then pulled out because of injury. So it's frustrating on that front, but we're also glad that we didn't take that fight, because he would have probably got still the same injury, and it would have been postponed anyway. So we decided, look, we'll take the Tommy McCarthy fight. We got offered a slightly better deal than what was that was on the cards in the first, originally proposed to us. We're taking it down to Bournemouth, so we were happy. So so it's a great fight for Chris to get up for. It's a fight that he needs to look better against than he did the first time, but still clear winner. But there was a lot of close swing rounds that he could have gone either way. He just needs to be much more convincing. He got hurt early on the fight, and just threw his fucking game plan and mindset out the window and tried to sort of slug it out, because he had it in his head that he was going to knock him out. And as much as we kept saying, look, got to go in there, he wanted to prove himself. And that's the thing about boxers. They always want to prove themselves, and it's up to me as a trainer, him as a fighter, to sort of rein it in and say, look, dissect this guy, beat him up, bust him up in the jab, make him miss, make him full shot. Don't always have to start your attack. So it's going to be an interesting fight. The good thing about the first one is it was a great fight. They were both hurt in the fight, and it was a competitive fight. So I'm really looking forward to it, but also looking forward to making sure that we make the adjustments to be better.
And Ellie Scotney took a step up last time, and it was a really good test so early on in her career. What can we expect from her this year?
Look, I think you got to credit the female fighters. Sandy Ryan, for instance, just took that step up against a former world champion, and come unstuck a little bit. They're willing to put themselves out there in female box. I don't think a loss knocks them back as much as a loss in the men's game. I think there's a more stacked division. All of them have a lot more fighters within the division. So Ellie, 4 fights, title, great. She was fit for 8 rounds. Maybe the last 2 she slowed down a little bit, but dug in and did great. So close fight, but also that girl's a former super flyweight world champion, so it's you can't discredit it. It's a great step, great learning fight, and she'll be back again. And I think there's some great entertaining fights out there for her.
And obviously Daniel Dubois waiting on purse bids today. I think for Trevor Bryan.
They've just been pushed back. So I think we're going back to a negotiation standpoint of the process. Frustrating, but also look, Frank and Don King had a deal agreed on the table. We were going to go out on April 23rd. Don then asked, I think, to push it to purse bids. It went to got scheduled to go to purse bids, and now it's been pushed back. So I'm not sure. I don't want to press them on that. I think it's a fight that's going to be made, whether it's next or the one after. We're right in line. So exciting times, but look, let Frank do his work and get that secured for us. Hopefully we don't have to travel to America, because if Don wins it, which he's still got a hell of a lot of money in the bank and a hell of a lot of power, and the only problem with Don winning it is normally they like options and stuff like that on you, which is obviously what we wouldn't want to necessarily do. But look, we'll just let Martin Bowers and Frank Warren get the best deal on the table for us, and we'll get ready for the date.
And whilst I have you here, just a few other topics. Shane, April 23rd, Fury against Whyte. What's your early thoughts on the fight?
Great fight. I think, look, Fury's not a one-punch knockout artist. He's definitely got thudding power, but he's not a sort of explosive puncher like Povetkin or AJ, both guys that have taken out Whyte. So I think he'll thump him, and I think he'll thump him to stop him late on in the fight. But until that point, Dillian Whyte's going to be giving it his all. He's going to be attacking the body. He's not afraid. He's never intimidated. Every time he's ever been dropped or hurt, he's always come back and fucking stuck it right on them. He never goes back in his shell and tries to overcomplicate things and trying to go on the back foot and trying to figure out a way to win in a slightly easier fashion. He goes, I didn't win in that aggressive fashion, let's get more aggressive. And I think that's what you've got to do with someone like Tyson Fury, because you're not going to beat him on the back foot. You're going to have to go and stand and have a go, push the fight, work the body, set a high pace. But it's a big ask, and I don't think he's going to prevail, but I think he'll give a great fight.
You mentioned about Dillian needing to attack the body. People said in the Fury Wilder 3 fight that Malik Scott kind of implemented that in the first couple of rounds, before obviously we know what happened. Is that a key sort of component for
I think it's something, if you can't hit something, if you can't hit the head, hit something, and that is hit arms, hit the body, land, get confidence, get yourself into range, and that's something that Dillian Whyte will do. He's called the body snatcher for a reason. He's a very good body puncher. Her age into the body, breaks people down with good body work. So I think that's definitely what he needs to do. Tyson Fury can sit there body sparring and take body shots all day from big guys, but when you're taking the head into play, having to block their head, having to think about that's when you loosen out the body, and that's when you can get dropped with body shots. It's just about the timing. But even that, he can slow fighters down, slow their legs down, make them stand a little bit more. So that's definitely something that he should do and implement in the game plan. But it's at the same time, Tyson Fury's been boxing pressure fighters like Chisora since he was like early 20s, so he knows how to deal with it. But still, it's an exciting fight.